Hello and welcome to Monday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where today we have a puzzle for you that has been described by two people. We've had it recommended more than twice, but two of the people who recommended it say that this is a masterpiece. It's by Myxo, who is just, has a planet-sized brain. And I did a Myxo puzzle quite recently on the channel that was called something like Arrow Knots. Well, this is a new version called Thermo Knots. You can see we've got no 3x3 regions in the puzzle, so we're going to have to build the regions ourselves as we go along. Sometimes these puzzles are called chaos constructions. 4 stars out of 5 for difficulty, and I'm looking forward to having a go at it. The rules are strange, but I think I understand them, so that is a good start. A few things to mention before we kick off and do some solving today. Firstly, check out yesterday's Fog of War puzzle if you want a totally new experience. It was weird, but loads and loads of you are loving it, as indeed did I. Basically, the idea is there's a bit of the grid revealed, and you solve a bit of it, and it reveals another bit of it, but then you have to delete almost all the digits that you've put in and re-solve it, recompute it by reference to the new information. So it's sort of 4 or 5 puzzles in one. Really cool stuff from pdyxs. However you pronounce that, but well done, pdyxs, on creating that puzzle. Other news, well, it is the closing date for our monthly competition over on Patreon. This has been running from the 1st of January. It is Blob's Sudoku Hunt, themed on The Hobbit, 19 puzzles in all. And yesterday, look, we were almost up to 1,000 of our patrons had solved all 19 puzzles, which is extraordinary. I'm guessing we're now going to be over 1,000. Let's see. Yes, we are 1,027, and over 2,500 have solved the first puzzle. Isn't that incredible? That is absolutely superb. I'm so delighted for Blobs, actually, because this, I know, was a labour of love for him, and to have so many people work their way through all the puzzles must feel terrific. So massive props to Blobs, massive props to all you guys for solving the puzzles. There'll be if you haven't got your entry in and you're still planning to, we are generous with the deadline. So it needs to be done fairly soon because the solution videos will be released in the coming days. So if you were stuck on any of the puzzles, you'll be able to see how to solve them. And if you haven't had a go at it yet and you fancy having a go, get yourselves over to Patreon, a couple of bucks a month. It is the best value entertainment, I believe, in the world. Certainly per dollar spent. Let's put it like that. Hours of pleasure per dollar spent. Now, what else? Oh, we're streaming tomorrow night. It is tomorrow night, isn't it? Monday? Yeah, it's tomorrow night. 10 o'clock UK time. We're going to be having a go at Nurikabe World. And, my screen is in the right place for once. So this is an example of a very colourful Nurikabe puzzle. Nurikabe is a logic puzzle invented in Japan by the puzzling giant Nurikabe. Fabulous puzzle type. And a Finnish company of, I think it's a small team of programmers, loved Nurikabe and thought they would sort of make a homage to it, and that is what this game is, and we definitely want to support that. So yeah, 10 o'clock UK time, we'd love to have your company. It'll be our first stream of 2025, and I guess at some point we'll then return to the Katadoku pillar, which I know some of you are keen for us to do. Now, birthdays. I have got birthdays to do. Let me find my list. A couple of birthdays to do today. Max, it's your birthday, and I know this because your girlfriend Sydney wrote to us just in time for today's video. Max, I hope you have a brilliant birthday today, and I hope it is filled with a large slice of heavily iced chocolate cake. And then Jose, I think it's Jose, from the Dominican Republic. I'm not sure if you're there now or if you are just originally from the Dominican Republic, but your girlfriend Giancarla wrote to us, I think also from the Dominican Republic, and said that you've watched every video, you've watched every night for the last 2 years. So Jose, thank you for doing that. I'm glad you enjoy the channel. and I hope you have an absolutely brilliant birthday today. And with that said and done, that is all of the news. Let us turn our attention to Thermo Knots by Myxo. And I will read you the rules of this one. We have got to divide the grid into 9 regions, each containing 9 orthogonally connected cells, such that each cell is part of exactly one region. So this is a 9 by 9 grid. Yes, so it's 9 by 9 grid. We're going to put 9 regions into the grid, each containing 9 cells. That will totally fill the 81 cells of the Sudoku. Now, what does it mean when it says 9 orthogonally connected cells? Well, that would mean, hang on, let's quit. That's 9 cells, isn't it? Yeah, that's 9 cells. So that could be a region. That could be a region. What couldn't be a region? Let's try and find something that's not going to quite work. 1, 2, 3, yeah. Those green ones are not a region, because although there are 9 cells in green, this one is not orthogonally connected to the other green cells, because it only touches the other green cells at a point, at this diagonal point. That is not good enough to achieve a diagonal connection. We'd have to add this one in, for example, and then the green cells are orthogonally connected. So that is our first requirement. Now, fill the grid with the digits 1 to 9 such that no digit repeats in any row, column or region. So that's sort of normal Sudoku rules, but applying, rather than having 3 by 3 boxes, we've got regions to fill with the digits 1 to 9. Now, next, Thermo Knots. From each big circle, draw straight horizontal or vertical thermometers in all possible directions, such that each thermo occupies at least 2 cells, including the circle. And then digits along a thermo must increase starting from the circle. So what that means is, let's look. In fact, let's pick one in the middle of the grid in case that makes a difference. So we've got to draw. Let me just make sure that we get this right. From each big circle, draw straight horizontal or vertical thermometers in all possible directions. I'm not sure how long these have to be. They might have to be bigger than that. 1 second. Such that each thermo occupies at least 2. Oh no, okay, so it is only that big. Each thermo occupies, so this thermo, this westerly facing thermo, is the bulb of the thermo plus this square, and that's a 2-cell thermo going west. And then you've got to make sure that thermo, this will be the lowest digit. So if that was a 5, this digit would have to be higher than 5. So it could be 7. It doesn't have to be 6. You can just skip out digits. But I suppose, I don't know whether this is right, we'll have to carry on reading the rules. If the thermo continues, then we'd have to go, if this was 6, then this could be 8. Actually, that would work. 8 and 9 are on a white dot. I'm assuming the white dot rules are normal, but we'll get to those in a minute. So that's basically what we have to do, or that's part of what we have to do. All right. It then says, additionally, all cells along thermos must be part of the same region as their circle. Right, okay, so that's okay. So if we go back to the first thing I did, which was that, which I think is the smallest possible arrangement, what we're being told is that all of those are in the same region of the puzzle. If a thermo doesn't reach the edge of the grid, it must keep extending until it reaches the edge. It says the edge of its region. I think it must mean the edge of its region. If a thermo doesn't reach the edge of the grid, it must keep extending until it reaches the edge of its region, and the cell directly after the tip must be in a different region and must contain a smaller digit than the tip. Right, so if this went here, say, well, no, it's difficult, isn't it? You're going to have to know where the region ends. So if let's say that the region ended there. Then what we're saying is that that would be yellow. The thermo would have to go as far as it could. And then this square would be in a different region. And then this digit was smaller, or is it that one that's smaller? 1 second. Must keep extending, and the digit directly after the tip must be in a different region, yes, and must contain a smaller digit than the tip, right? So the tip digit here, I mean, I think that's going to be naturally sort of what happens, isn't it? Because the tip digit is we're going to be increasing along this thermo, so this is going to have highish value, one would expect, and then what we're just saying is this is a lower value. So if that was 1, 2, so if that was 3, say, this would have to be a 1 or a 2. Something like that, I think, is what's going on. Now, cells separated by a small white circle, must be in different regions and contain consecutive digits. So I was expecting the can contain consecutive digits thing, but actually these two cells are in different regions as well, as are these two. And I get a given digit today in the form of that 1 in the bottom right-hand corner. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual, but now I get to play. Let's get cracking, and I'll do battle with Myxo once again. So what we should do, well, what we should do first is go and delineate. I know what we should do first. I like doing this. I'm going to draw a black line round the whole grid so that sort of feels like we're making progress. And then we've got to draw in some thermometers, don't we? So the thermometers work. I don't want to get this wrong. I think what you have to do is draw a sort of X pentomino. From each big circle, draw straight horizontal or vertical thermometers in all possible directions for at least 2 cells, including the circle. So I think you've got to do this sort of thing. Yeah, you can now see, or can you? Actually, I've had an interesting thought there. I'll come back to that in a moment. Let me just draw these sort of flowers in the grid. And then this one, well, we can't go left or down, so presumably we just go like that, do we? Okay, I just want to come across here and look at this situation. Yeah, what I was thinking doesn't work. So I was wondering whether if there was an edge here, and these were in the same region, which doesn't work actually, because we'd have 10 cells in the region, which we can't have. We know every region only has 9 cells in it. But if we did have that, does this have to extend? I think it does. That's really weird, isn't it? So yeah, it's a little bit hard to show, because in effect what we're saying is that this thermometer would end just about there, and then this thermometer would end about here. So this would be a high digit in relation to this thermometer and this thermometer, because we have to extend the thermometers up to the end of the region. But anyway, I think that's otiose, because actually this region and this region, in fact the flowers, because they're 5 cells each, are never in the same region as other flowers, except maybe that one, because we can't, if those join together, that's 10 cells in a region. So what we should do, should we use colours, or should we use... we should use colours, shouldn't we? It's just beholden on me to do that. Right, so we use colours. So blue. So this square in the corner is now blue, because it can't be in another region than blue, because it would only have 1 cell in it. So this is a region, we'll make that orange. This is a region. Yeah, so these are all distinct from one another, aren't they? We'll make that green. We'll make this one red, maybe, so the corner must be red. We'll make this one yellow, or maybe... Oh, yeah, that's lovely. Actually, the red on the thermometer shows up really well on that. Right, I've still got... I should have loads of colours left. I've still got lime green, black, oh, and yellow. Okay. Okay, so that one could be yellow. That one could be lime green, maybe. And then I've used 8 colours. I've still got my black colour to use. Right. Well, that's interesting straight away. Where... Okay, these flowers I've drawn in here are definitely all different regions. So that is 8 of the 9 regions in this puzzle we have begun to delineate. We don't know where all 9 cells are in any of them, I don't think, anyway. But we do know that they are all distinct from one another. Where is region 9? Now, it's not down here. Because if this was my black region, it could only have 6 cells in it. So I think it looks to me like somewhere in here is the only sort of contiguous stream of white cells that we can possibly make a 9-cell region out of. How many cells is that? 6, 8, 12, I want to say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 12. So 9 of these have to be, which will mean most of the middle of this region has to be in the black region. Oh, but hang on, what's going on here? Those can't be both. Oh, sorry, 11 then. Yeah, because the white thing, the white dot is this cell. In fact, that cell has to be yellow, indigo, or green. So this cell, well, if that cell is not in the black region can't exist because there isn't enough space above it or below it. So what was the count? Was it so? It's 11 is the count now. So we have to take those 7 cells. There is no choice about that. We've sort of got a backward question mark in the grid. And then we're either going to take those, well, we don't know. It could be one of these and one of these, or it could be 2 of these and none of these. Oh, but this one has to grow now. Whether this is in blue or not, we've only got 6 cells, 7, so those 2 are definitely blue. Now, why have I got a line here? Oh, I was looking at that thinking, what on earth is that? How have I known that? The reason that was there is because I was thinking about extending this red line. So I'm glad I spotted that because that was very strange. Now the orange region 7 has to take those 2 squares. Oh no, it's got to take more than that. What? Well, let's just go back. 5 here, 6, 7 if I take those 2. So it must take these 2. That's correct. But now it must take this one, mustn't it? Because I've only got 7. So I've always got to take that one. Ah, and blue's been penned in. So blue does take that one. Now does that mean... Oh, hang on, what's happened to my black region? Oh, my black region's finished. Because I didn't grow it at all. I've got 7 cells in it. It's only got 2 cells to grow into now. So there we go. Now my orange region. I really like this. It's very enjoyable. Now, purple can only get those squares. So suddenly I've got 4 regions built in the grid. This region has to be yellow or lime. These are different. So does that have to be red? Or no, it could perhaps be yellow. Hang on, and now what we should do, you know what I'm going to do now. I'm going to do this. Okay, so we've got this. Oh, dear. that one, this one. Now, can we do better than that? It looks like that green one at the top hasn't got much space. Yeah, that's got to take quite a lot. It's got possibly 5 white cells it could enter, and it must enter 4 of them. So it must enter this one, and therefore that one is also green. And then 2 of those 3. But is that putting pressure on this one now? 5. A maximum of 1 of these 2. So let's say that one's 6. Oh no, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, that's still got quite a lot of possibilities. It might be this one. Yellow or lime green. And whatever this is, it then has to get to yellow or lime green, which is always going to take 1 more cell, isn't it? Ah, not that cell. That might be wrong, actually. I don't know. I don't think that is wrong. If we made those yellow, for example, you can see yellow is finished now, but this cell can't be part of a region. And I think that would be exactly the same logic. Oh, it should be symmetrical, shouldn't it? If I make those green, this cell is isolated. So there is there's sort of a. Let's actually go back to here. This is yellow or lime green, but whatever it is, this cell is different. So, right, hang on. So if this was lime green, it has to take this one. So it would finish like that. And then all 3 of those would be yellow, and yellow would have 8 cells in it. And that's going to work the other way around, i.e. if this is yellow, then all of those are yellow, and that in yellow is finished. And those 3, oh, in fact, that would do it, wouldn't it? Because then those 3, plus 5 here, plus that one would finish green off. So in that situation, this would have to be red. Those 3 would be red. That would complete red. Wow. So it seems more constrained if... Which way round was it? If this is yellow. If this is green. Yeah, it is more constrained, because if this is green, those 3 become yellow, but yellow's extra cell would seem to be able to be in 4 different places. But okay, how is this one not red? That might be the question we're supposed to ask. The reason I'm thinking that is, if this is yellow, that's the final yellow, and actually all of those are red. But if this is lime green, these 3 are yellow, and the extra yellow could take that one, but it definitely can't get here. So the only colour that can be is red. So red is now red. I've got 8 cells of red. I only need 1 more cell of red. And what was the rule? What was the rule about the thermos going towards the edge? Oh, I see. That's not going to help me because I can't build any of the regions. Well, I can see that this thermo, in a northward direction, has to continue. Northwards, isn't that a ski run in Vale? Why has that just popped into my brain? I don't know. I have been thinking I'm not going skiing this year, but I would love to be. And then I miss Vale, which has been somewhere I have been before a few times. So that one's got to go north. Now, what does that mean? I don't know. It could be I don't know what to do now. No, I mean, how... The other thing... Okay, and this might be a fatuous point, but I'm just going to say it because... Oh, no, I'm not going to do what I was going to do. But what I was thinking is, and this is a bit of a worrying point, is how in this puzzle are you ever going to disambiguate the high digits? Because I can see how the low digits are under a bit of pressure, because, you know, whatever you put in the thermo bulb, everything then has to be a bit bigger than that. But for example, if that's a 9, what pressure at all is that putting on this digit? None, because that just has to be lower than 9, which it would be axiomatically. I don't think, maybe I've missed an implication of a rule here. I've got to build the thermos, but I don't see how I can build the thermos. Ah. Oh, yes I do. Right. Ah, that's very interesting. Yeah, okay. That square is yellow. And that's beautiful. I've done it. Right, there we go. I've done it. Done the puzzle. We move on. Move swiftly on. No, this is lovely. Right. This square, I'm going to claim, is not indigo or lime green. Now, the reason I think that must be right is if I let's make it indigo for a moment. I think the rules say, okay, I've got to extend my thermo. Right? Well, I will then. I'll extend my thermo. But now these two squares are in opposition, but they can't both simultaneously obey the rules of the puzzle. Because what we're told is that because this is a thermotip, this digit in the region adjacent needs to be lower. But this is a thermotip, so that needs to be lower. So according to this thermo, this should be lower, but according to this thermo, this should be lower. Those things cannot simultaneously be true. Oh, that's a terrible. What I need to do is to get rid of the indigo there and then reduce the length of the thermo. So I think what that means is that we have to do that. And then that has to be yellow. And it doesn't, yeah, that's lovely. And that doesn't have the same problem, because although I have to extend yellow here, this square hasn't got a thermotip in it, so it's not, or pointing at this thermo. So we're fine. But the best thing about this is now this can't be yellow, because yellow now, we've got this sort of crucifix shape here, haven't we? Which is 6 cells, so I can't add this to yellow because there would be no way of adjoining this yellow to these 6 cells in a 9-cell region. So that is green. Now I can't remember if that's what I wanted it to be or not. So that's now green. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I don't know if it is the way I wanted it to be, but it's still fine. That's a region now. But now those 3 cells are all yellow. And that completes yellow because we added that one to yellow. So yellow is finished. Now that one, this is lovely. That's going to finish my red region off. Red, yeah, that is red. Red has 9 cells in it now. So we've done that one. So I can see 3 indigos that we can definitely put in. That must be green. Oh, we're going to get an ambiguous... Oh, no, we're not. No, I'm going to do it again. Okay, if this was green, then this thermo would extend here and be pointing at this thermo, and that junction would be impossible. So this must be indigo, and that must be green. And there we go. We've done the regions. That is absolutely beautiful. And... Oh, hang on. So how does this thermo work? No, there are some things I can see where it does work. That one's got to go there. This one's got to go there. I'm not sure about this one. Does that just extend to the end? Let me just think about this. 1 second. Let me just go through all these thermos. This one has to extend to the end of its region, doesn't it? Let me go to the rules. Let's keep extending until it reaches the edge of its region. So, yes, okay, so this digit is under some pressure because it's the 4th cell along. Yeah, actually that bulb also, that can't be a 1 because of the given one, so that's at least a 2, 3, 4, so that's at least a 5. It has to be bigger than that. But what if that was a 9? That puts, yeah, this is the problem. This is the problem. If that's a 9, you don't care. It puts hardly any pressure on this bulb, and it puts next to no pressure on this. Oh, there's another one there, look. I'm going to take advantage of everything I'm given, or try to at least. So, okay, so that's at least a 2. Okay, right, I suppose what we should do first, all of the bulbs of the flowers, in fact it's better than that because some of the flowers have grown. All of the basic flowers, like that basic flower, what could that central digit be? It can't be 6, can it? Because if it's 6, we could put 7, 8 and 9 on 3 of the tips, but the final tip would be unfillable, because it would need to be bigger than 6 and there would be no Sudoku digits left. So I think a basic flower is a 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5. But some of these are not that, so that one is a basic flower. Because it is, you know, its southerly facing thermo is a 1 cell, well, it only extends 1 cell. But some of these others are not. Like, if this was 5, it wouldn't work, because you go 6, 7, 8, 9. In fact, it really wouldn't work, because this, yeah, this has got to be a 3 at most. 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah, that's at most a 3. Oh, that's a flower. When I say a flower, I mean a symmetrical flower that's a useless flower. This one is the same as this one, isn't it? It's just a symmetrical counterpart to it. Now this one, oh no, this one's terrible because it's only got 2 thermos. So it has 4 digits that have to be higher than it. So that could be a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, it can't be, no, it can't be a 1 by Sudoku. So it's at least a 2. That flower could be a 4 but couldn't be a 5 because it's got 1 thermo, so that's the same as that. So a crucifix can have a bulb as high as 4. I can see 1 in this region, in the orange region, is restricted. Because I mean, what do we know about thermometers? There's only basically 2 secrets I know about thermometers, and they're very, very related to each other. And those things, I mean, it's another way of showing that, you know, high digits are just not under pressure. Because within this crucifix, the digit 1 could only go in the bulb. Because if we try and put it here, this would be lower than 1, and that's not a Sudoku digit. So 1 is restricted on the flowers to just the bulb. So 1 is in one of those two questions. But normally, with thermometers, you'd say 9 is a restricted digit, because it can only go on a tip. But because these flowers have so many tips associated with them, actually 9 can go in 4 places. 5, 6, 7 places. So, okay. So 1 in that box is in one of 2 places. I mean, this is horrific. Let's call that box 1, the red box. I mean, 1 could go in the bulb, or it could go in 4 other places. Actually, it can't. It can't go there, but that's for a specific region to do with the white dot. If this was a 1, this would be a 2. But that's the third cell on its thermo, so that wouldn't work. Because it would go 1, 2, 1, 0. That's just nonsense. Oh, sorry. Okay. No, it's much easier. I can get 1 in that region, can't I? Because this region effectively has been overpopulated with thermometers, and there's only 1 cell. Whereas 2 possible circles could have contained a 1, but the given 1 is actually very helpful there. Thank you, Myxo. So that's not 1. Which is almost interesting for this box. 1 is in one. Ooh, 1 is in one of 2 places. Okay, so let's look at 1 in this yellow box, because that seems to be able to be also in 2 places. It can't be here anymore because of this pencil marked 1 we've got in the indigo region. Gosh. So if this was a 1 in sort of row 7, column 1, that would be a 1. That would be very helpful. I say that without really any feel for how helpful it would be, but I feel like it would be slightly helpful. But oh no. Well, how do we do this then? Am I missing an obvious point? I could well be. 1 in the green region is not in those 2 squares. So I think it's in one of 3 positions. Now, is that useful? The answer is blowing in the wind. I've no clue. 1 in this region? Is that under some sort of weird pressure? I suppose you can't put it here, can you? So I don't think it is under pressure. Can you put 1? No, one opposite the tip of a thermo is exactly where it should be. Because the tips have to be bigger than the digits that are across the border from them. Okay, so that's not right, sorry. So 1 in this box is in a whole panoply of places. Golly, I don't know. Wow, I'm stuck, aren't I? Have we got some sort of weird X-wingy type thing going on? There feels like there might be something like that. Oh, nearly. Or the next question I was thinking, oh, hang on. No, I had another. Oh, I have got a good idea. No, I have got an idea. I've got it. Where is 1 in column 8? And the answer is I don't know. But I do know enough that it's interesting. If we look at column 8, there are 2 possible places, I think, for 1s. 1 is here, and 1 is here. That looks right. But that mirrors our 2 possible places for 1s in the indigo region. And why do it's not maybe good enough. Well, it gets rid of a pencil mark, which is still I'm going to take. In fact, it gets rid of more than that. So what I'm saying is, let me just colour these in somehow. I'll just make them yellow, just for a moment, just to indicate something. Obviously, this is an X, it's called an X-wing. And if you see this pattern emerging, the important thing to recognise is it has an effect on the rows, actually. Although it's a pattern that exists in the columns, in the sense that both of these are in the same position within their columns for the 1s, the restriction then applies in the rows. And the way to think about it is to say, okay, if I ask you a really fatuous question, How many 1s are there going to be in row 3 of this puzzle if we finish the puzzle correctly? Hopefully the chorus of voices I would hear back from the future would say there's going to be 1 1. And how many 1s are there going to be in row 5? Well, there's going to be 1 1. So in these 2 rows altogether, there will be, obviously, 2 1s in the correctly completed puzzle. But we've just said that there are 2 1s. That's because I know there's a 1 in these 2 squares, and I know there's a 1 in these 2 squares. So that is 2 1s, isn't it? So what that means is, as regards these rows, there cannot be any other 1s at all in these 2 rows. You can see that immediately means that this can't be a 1. If this is a 1, there are 3 1s in 2 rows of the puzzle. That's not right. I'm wondering, though, yeah, it's good. It is good. Gosh, this is very complicated and very clever. This is so very clever. Right. I'm actually going to do a bit more due diligence on 1s now. So I'm going to come back to this column, this region first, but I think box 1 is going to be the interesting one. So let's look at this region. Where are the 1s? We know they're not there by Sudoku. We know they're not there because that would make this a 2, and it can't be a 2. So not here either. So one of those 2 seems possible. These 2 are now removed because of this X-wing. So there are 3. There are 3 possible places, I think. I just spotted something else as a result of that. This is really cool. Okay, maybe this was what I was meant to spot before, but I'm not going to do it that way. I'm going to look at the red region now and ask where the 1 is in that. This can't be a 1 because that would be a 2 and this thermo would be broken. The X-wing takes out these squares, so the 1, I believe, is in only one of 2 places now. And now look at the red and the green region together. And again, I don't know if this is quite an X-wing technically, but it's exactly the same principle. Let's get rid of my yellow there, and replace the yellows here, look. So in these 2 regions, there are 2 positions for 1s, and they align in the same 2 rows. So I know that in row 1 and 2 together, there are 2 1s in the correctly completed puzzle, and I know that there are 2 1s in the yellow flashed squares. So there can't be any more 1s in these 2 rows, and this pencil mark is now removed, and that means that I get the 1 in the purple region, which unwinds my X-wing. And that's really good, isn't it? Because now I seem to be able to get the 1 in the orange region, which means I get the 1 in the yellow region, which means I get the 1 in the flower here, which means I get the 1 here, and the 1 here. What I'd actually noticed as we were going through that exercise as well is that 1 in this row I think was really restricted. It may for all time have only been able to be there, but I only noticed that belatedly. So that if you went about it that way, well done you. I think that was probably more efficient, but I just didn't see it. So I think I've got all the 1s. Yeah, I've got 9 1s in the grid. And I presume we now look at 2s. But that might be wrong. I mean, I can't look at high digits. High digits are totally impossible in this puzzle. Yeah, and it's odd actually. It's not very odd. There are some slight subtleties, like this square can't be a 2 now in the red region, because if it was a 2 by the rules, this would be a 1 because it's across the border from the tip of a thermo, and that certainly can't be a 1. Yeah, okay. And in fact, that's nearly... Well, it is a little interesting. Like, as regards the lime region, where's the 2 in it? This can't be a 2, because that can't be a 1, so it's not here. I don't think it can be in any of those 3 flower tips, because the sort of petals of this flower, if any of them were 2, it would be implying we put 1 in the cell across the border. And none of these is a 1, and we've put all the 1s in the puzzle, so that doesn't work. So I think the 2 is in the bottom row. That might, well, oh no, I know where it is. Sorry, this is brilliant. I know where it is. Everyone's laughing at me. I'm sorry, I didn't see this. I wasn't thinking of this particularly as a thermo. I am now. I'd worked out the 2 was in one of those squares, and I was going to go on my merry way and wonder where the 2 was over here, but I'm not doing that, because actually this is a thermo, so that can't be a 2, because that would have to be a 1. So there is a 2 in the corner of the puzzle. I don't really feel I earned that, but, well, hang on now. I'm going to go to my red region now. Where is the 2 in the red region? The answer is not blowing in the wind for once. It's in one of 3 places by Sudoku, but these 2 are impossible, because they would require those to be a 1. So you've got to put the 2 here, which makes that a 3. Okay, so 2 in the yellow region must be, that must be placed here. Now surely 2 is placed in this region, isn't it? 2 cannot be, 2's got to be in the bulb of the thermo. Otherwise the thermo would have to be a 1. So I've got 4 2's in the grid out of nowhere. And the upshot of that is, not sure. I think, no, actually that's wrong. What I was going to say is not correct. Why did I never fill in this cell? What could that be? Well, it could be 5, couldn't it? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It certainly could be 2. But, okay, so 2 is in one of, no, 2 is in one of 2 places. 2 is in one of those places, but that 2 knocks out that one. So it's in one of 2 places now. Yeah, okay, so I've got something from that. Let's go to the purple region and ask where the 2 is. Now the only thing I want to confirm here is I don't think this can be a 2. Because again, this should be a 1 across the border. So the 2 is not in those 2 cells. So all I'm going to claim is that the 2 in the purple region is in the first, or is in the final 2 columns of the grid, exactly where it is in those 2 cells. So again, we can sort of X-wing that in our minds and say, okay, the 2's that are hypothecated for columns 8 and columns 9 are in purple and blue, so they are not in orange, so none of those can be a 2. And surely that's useful. Yeah, it is useful. Where's the 2 in orange? Can't go there, because this would be a 1. Can't go there, because this would be a 1. Can't go there, because this would be 1.5, so must go here. So, okay, so now I'm going to look at 2 in the black region, which is in one of 2 places. Can that be a 2? Surely not. I think this white dot is stopping. Yeah, the white dot stops it. If that's 2, that has to be 1 or 3 to be consecutive, and both of those have gone. So that's not right. So this is 2. That's 2 as a result of this. If that's 2, now I do have to think more seriously about purple and where the 2 is. It can't go here. So it is in one of those 2, and it must be that one. So that's 2. I really hope I've not made a ricket here, because this is going, yeah, that can't be 2, because that would need to be 1. So that's 2. How many 2's have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 9. I've got all of them. And you know exactly where I'm going now. 3's. Now, I have got a 3. Oh, okay, I have got a 3, but I was just noticing that that could be a 3, I think. Actually, it can't. That's weird. Yeah, okay. I was thinking this could be a 3 because I was looking at it narrowly in terms of, well, this is lower than 3, so that seems to work. But if we then think about where 3 would go, in the red box, it's broken because it would be on the tip of a thermo looking into the indigo region. So one of those squares would need to be a 1 or a 2, and that they've already been placed elsewhere. So maybe a better thing to do, I mean, it's a slightly ridiculous thing to do, but 3 is in one of those cells. That's just reminding me 3 isn't here. 3 isn't here. 3 can't be there on a thermo because this would have to be a 2.5. So 3 is in one of those 3 squares. Oh no! Well, it's not that one, because this square would have to be a 1 or a 2. If it's that one, no, it's fine. This is good. If this is 3, this one has to be 1 or 2. So this is 3, so that isn't 3, and now 3 is presumably restricted in this box. This is getting really large. So these squares, I'm not afraid to pencil mark this today. This puzzle feels difficult enough to keep track of that I'm going to do that. So 3 is either here or here. Now, this digit's interesting, isn't it? Because this digit has to be bigger than this digit, so that's not 9. This has got to be at least 6. That digit has to be bigger than this digit, which is really easy. Okay, that's much less powerful. Yeah, what you want is a high digit being looked at by a thermo, not this way round where you've got a high digit on the thermo doing the looking. Right. It must still be 3 somehow, it just must. But where? Is it going to be... Oh, you know what I haven't thought about at all? I haven't thought about geometry very much. I don't actually think it helps me. What I was going to say is actually those 2 digits are the same in this puzzle. Let me just give those a yellow flash quickly. How do I know that? Now, it's something called the law of leftovers, which actually I think is easier to understand if in terms of simple set theory, if I can call it that, in a Sudoku. So let me just explain how I know this, and there are going to be lots of examples of where we could use geometry. I would... well, actually, I've got some actually... Okay. This is big. This is a big, important deduction, but not where I thought it was. Right, okay, I'm just going to explain it here, and then I'm going to use it somewhere else. Because what I want to ask is, in the correctly completed puzzle, if we were to look at the final 3 columns of this puzzle, what digits would they contain? I'm not talking about the order of the digits, I'm just talking about in total, what would we expect there to be in the final 3 columns of any Sudoku? And of course we know the answer to that, don't we? Each column individually is going to contain the digits 1 to 9, so 3 columns contain 3 sets of the digits 1 to 9. We know that for certain. But now let me ask you a different question. Okay, what do the purple, orange, and blue regions contain in this puzzle? Well, they contain 3 sets of the digits 1 to 9, don't they? So there is an exact equivalence between the final 3 columns and the blue, orange, and purple regions in total. But I don't know if this is now very clear to you to see. Hopefully you can start to see why these 2 cells must be the same, because we know that if we were to highlight the final 3 columns, Let me use a totally different colour to try and... Well, the brown is horrible, isn't it? I mean, consider this cell. That is clearly in purple, so it's in the set of digits belonging to purple, orange and blue, and it's in the final 3 columns. So it's only cells like this and this that mismatch, and so they must be the same digit in order for those sets to be the same, in order to ensure that the final 3 columns of digits are exactly equal to the purple, blue and orange set. Those 2 digits have to be the same digit. Now, I'm going to delete that, because what I then noticed is, okay, can I do that sort of division anywhere else? And I can actually. It's a little bit more sophisticated, but not much. What about if I was to apply that logic to those 4 columns? Well, that's 4 sets of the digits 1 to 9, isn't it? We know that blue, indigo, yellow and lime altogether are 4 sets of the digits 1 to 9. So there must be an exact equivalent, therefore, between these 2 digits and those 2 digits. And that's interesting because this digit is a 3. So there must logically, therefore, be a 3 in these 2 cells. Oh, hang on, I wanted to get rid of yellow there. How did I not? What happened? Oh, I think I was on a slightly different shade of yellow, that's why. So this isn't... no 3 in the corner, in the top row. No 3s in the corner today, full stop. This, though, is now not a 3 in the green region. So these squares are a bit like these squares. These have got to be 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Ugh, putting very little pressure on anything. So if that was 5, then 4 would be over here, and this would be 4, and that would work. Bobbins, okay. Okay, well, let's try... Yeah, let's try 3 in purple then. Because this is good. This is good, I think. Okay, I'm going to claim this can't be 3 in purple, because that would need to be lower than it, and it's not. This can't be 3 in purple, because that would need to be lower than it, and it's not. So 3 in purple, I think, is in one of 2 positions, but that means that is not 3 in blue. So that is 3 in blue, which means that 3 in the black region, well, no, a better way to put it is where's 3 in row 7? And the answer is I don't know, but it's definitely in those 2 squares. So, therefore, well, if it's in those 2 squares, hang on, I know which one it's in. I was just looking at that thinking, hang on, this doesn't work. But it doesn't. It does work because I hadn't seen this digit. Is that, have I definitely... Yeah, I think that is right. That is right. Okay. So if that's 3, this is now not 3 in the indigo. It never was. That can't be 3 because that can't be 1 or 2. So 3 in indigo, could it be here? I don't think there's a problem with it being halfway along a thermo, unfortunately. In fact, okay, so it's got 3 positions. But I've not put 3 in orange, have I? So maybe that's where we look now. Yeah, 3 is just placed. It's just placed by Sudoku. I just didn't see that. So 3 is not here. Golly. Oh, lovely. Right. This is huge. You can't put 3 on this white dot because it's a bit difficult to see why. But if you do try and put it here, let's try it. That would be 4, wouldn't it? Because it can't be 2. And now between a 2 and a 4 on a thermo, we would have to put 3. And we get 2 3s in a row. That's not right. So this isn't 3. And now I can do my 3 trick with the red and the purple boxes. You can see I've got a 3 in one of those two, a 3 in one of these two. That's an X-wing on 3s. There cannot be any more 3s in these two rows, so these are not 3s. That is 3, which means that's 3. And I'm left with an X-wing on 3s. Okay. Can you imagine trying to set this, by the way? Myxo, it's completely insane. It's completely insane. I really would be interested to know how a constructor, how have you thought about this to actually, what have you thought in order to be able to consider that this is possible to create? I don't really understand. I suppose Myxo might have some inbuilt ability to appreciate that there is this sort of iterative effect as you work up the low digits or something. But it's a frightening prospect, isn't it, to try and, to me at least, to try and think that through. Oof. I mean, even now, well, I'm obviously going to look at 4s, but I'm looking at the grid and it's not. Yeah, see, it is a bit iterative, actually. I was about to say it's not clear, but it's almost the same logic on red again, isn't it? I.e., these two can't be 4, because that would imply one of those is a 1, 2, or a 3, and the indigo regions 1, 2, and 3 have already been placed. So again, you're going to get something like a 4 in one of these. So, yeah, 4 in yellow is really restricted. 4 can't go here because this can't be 1, 2, or 3. So 4 is going to be next to 3 on the thermos. But there are 2 thermos, so we don't know which one. Now 4 in... Yeah, what about 4 in the lime green region? So this 4 is taking it out of here. This would be too high on this sort of easterly facing thermo. So it might be able to be there. I don't think it can be here, because this would need to be a 1, 2, or a 3. And I don't think it can be here, because this would need to be a 1, 2, or 3. So that's 4, that's 4. Oh, nearly. And now my 4 in the black region is restricted. Whoopsie. 4's in one of those 3. Oh, I see. 4 in blue has always been restricted. But, yeah, sorry, where's 4 in row 8? That's the simple question, isn't it? It's only got one place to go. It's got to be here. So now, yeah, okay, where, I don't know. This is going to be, I think, important, but where's 4 in orange? Now, I don't think it can be here, because this square can't be 1, 2, or it can't be Sudoku, actually. Can it be there? Then this square would be 1, 2, or 3, and we can see from our pencil marks that doesn't work. So it's in one of those two, I think. Now that must put huge pressure on where it can go in purple, maybe terminal pressure. That can't be 4 because that won't be lower than it. So the 4 goes there. So 4 in green is now placed in the circle. Oh, this is sensational. It is sensational. Now these can't be 4. So 4 is in one of 3. Can that be 4? If that's 4, that's 5. 4, 5. I think that might be okay. 4 is less than 5, and the thermo has then worked. So weirdly, it now works. Okay. What about... Okay, what about 4 in row 7? It can't go in yellow, can't go in lime. It's not in any of those squares, so 4 is placed. It's in the black region. Right, so the one we haven't addressed is indigo. Now, can we address indigo? We know that 4 by Sudoku, in theory it's in one of... Oh no, it's not that one. In theory it's in one of those two. It's not here. This would have to be a 1, 2, or a 3. So it is there. That's big. That's, well, actually, is it? No, it's not. Well, I'm not certain it's not, but I've now got an X-wing on 4s. So I've got an X-wing of 3s and an X-wing of 4s. If that's 4, that's 5. I have a feeling that doesn't work for some reason that is totally obvious to all you guys, and you're all shouting at me about that. But I don't think I know what it is. Okay. Alright, so now, obviously, we have to go and think about 5s. Oh dear. Okay, and this is still working on the indigo region, in the sense 5s can't go in those 2 squares, because 1, 2, or 3, or 4 would need to go into the adjacent positions. So 5 in column 1 is in one of those positions. Now, so 5 is not here. 5 is not there, because that would need to be lower. 5 is not there, so 5 is in one of 2 places in lime. So 5 is in one of 3 places in black. 5 is not there in blue. That can't be 5 in row. I was thinking about row 8. Yeah, 5 in row 8 is in one of 2 places. It's in blue. It's in one of those 2. Now, if it was, that's fine. If it's there, that has to be lower than it, and it would be. Can that be 5? That would have to be 6. Yeah, it's probably okay. There's a sort of weird... This cell is under double pressure. It's under pressure from the right, and it's under pressure from the left. It's sort of in the squeezed middle, isn't it? Because it's got to be lower than both this digit and this digit. But it's also got to be consecutive with this digit. Okay, but if... Yeah, okay, where's 5 in yellow? It's not here. It's not here because that can't be lower. And it's not here because that can't be lower. So it's on this thermo, and it must be the next digit on it. It's there. And that means... I don't know what that means. Oh, bobbins, I don't know. Naughty old puzzle. Okay. Let's try 5s in. Where do you think? If I get a 5 here, is it perhaps 5 in this row? It's either here, which is where I think it's going to be, or it's in orange. But that could be there. This thermo doesn't point to anything useful. 2 is definitely going to be lower than this digit. And that might be able to be... No, that can't be 5, because then that would be 4. So I think 5 in row 6 has 2 possible places. 5 is in one of those 2 cells. Yeah, I mean, there's a weird point here, which I'll just mention. The 5s in purple, orange, and blue, where are they? And they are actually in the final 3 columns. Because the only cell that would be outside of those columns is this, and that can't be 5, because this can't be lower. So what that means is this can't be 5, because that would be a 4th 5 in the final 3 columns. So we might as well get rid of it. I mean, I'm not saying it's important, but I'm going to get rid of it. Okay. I don't know. I'm not sure. 5s, I have to say, it's all been very clear, hasn't it? 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s. We've sort of worked our way through each, and it's felt fairly achievable to do that. But now I feel a little bit more stuck. Oh, that's interesting. That digit Yeah. There's double. You know, I said this was a squeezed middle because it sits between two digits. Well, look at this square. That's a squeezed middle. That's sitting between two digits as well. So that can't be 5, because then that would be lower. This is at least 6. But this is at least 6. So that's at least 6, and these two digits have to be higher. It's 6 or 7. That digit is 6 or 7. If it was higher than 7, if it was 8, both of those would have to be 9. So that's 6 or 7, but this is lower than it. So that is 5 or 6. Oh, it's so going to be 5, isn't it? Oh, botheration. I don't know. See, there's now no pressure on this one. There is a little pressure on those two. They have to be from 7, 8 and 9. And if either of those is 7, this is 6 and this is 5. Ah, nearly. Okay, let's go back to thinking about 5s and try not to be distracted this time. Okay, so... Oh, I tell you what we could do. We could use our law of leftovers. We know those two digits were the same, don't we? In fact, what I'll do is I'll give them a quick letter. So I try and remember that. But you can see that's 6, 7, 8 or 9. So that is 6, 7, 8 or 9, which I think we already knew from this one anyway. But just in case it triggers something. Yeah, there must be some restriction on 5. Okay, that can't be 5, because that would need to be 1, 2, 3 or 4. So 5 in orange is either here. I mean, I think it's got 3 possibilities. That can't be 5. Yeah, this is good. Okay, where is 5 in purple? I don't think it can be here, because this would need to be lower, and it can't be. So again, I haven't got a clue where 5 goes in purple, but I do think it's in the final 2 columns, which is where it is in orange. So this can't be 5 in blue, therefore, and that seems to mean this is 5. So these are all 6, 7s, 8s and 9s. Oh, I suppose there's a small point here, isn't it? So that has to be 7, 8 or 9, and that has to be 6, 7 or 8, because this does have to be bigger than that one. Yes, and I'm right. I'm right in my initial thoughts about sort of how this was going to progress, just in the sense that you can see these high digits are popping up all over the place, and it's really unclear how they're ever going to get disambiguated. You know, this is a high digit, but it's under no pressure from anything. No, that's fine. That can be 5, I think. Okay, there must be some weird restriction on 5 somewhere. I don't know where it is, but there must be. Where is the restriction on 5s I'm meant to be appreciating? 3, 4, 5. This has to be... That has to be a high digit, and then that has to be lower than it. Yeah, so again, there's a little point there, isn't it? That's a high digit, so that has to be lower. And then this has to be higher than this one. Yeah, it's like a chain going through there. So this one can't be 9 or 8. So that one's come down to 5, 6 or 7. So that can't be 5, because that one can't be bigger than it or smaller than it then. So that's 6, 7 or 8. So this can't be 6 now, because that's got to be higher than... So there's a sort of weird chain going through those 3. I don't know if that's clear to everybody, but it is there. And it's going to be something like that that's going to disambiguate the high digits, I think. Okay, but I'm still in the same quandary about 5s that I was before. Where's 5 in indigo? Is there some point there? If that's 5... that would have to be lower. It would have to go 5, 4, wouldn't it? Yeah, because 3 isn't available. Yeah, 5, 4. Oh, that can't. No, hang on. That can't be 5 by Sudoku. Oh, maybe 5 in Indigo's locked in somehow. 2 places. Now, can that be 5? Yeah, that's a 1. That's lower. Sorry, I don't see how that's resolved. This can't be 5 because that can't be lower. Ah, okay, maybe green is where we're meant to look. But that can be 5 because that is lower. That can't be 5. That can be 5. So 5 in green is in one of 3 places, I think. Golly gosh, I mean, this is getting confusing now. So 5... Have I actually got... I've got 2 5s in the grid. So if that's 5, that's 5, that's 5, that's 5... One of those 2 is 5. One of these 2 is 5. That's 5. That's 5 and that's 5. Now, does that pattern look possible? That almost looks correct, doesn't it? So where did that start? That started with making this a 5, I think. So maybe there's a reason this can't be a 5. If that's a 5, then this is a 5 again. This is not a 5. So one of those 2 is 5. This is not 5, so no, that feels... Oh, goodness me. That's, okay, there must be something I've missed here. I don't see how to do the 5s. That's really, really terrifying. Maybe I've got to... That digit is higher than this one. And then this digit is higher than that one. The thing is, there's such a small flower in box 1. It's really frustrating. These, okay, neither of those digits can be 6, can they? Because 5 in this box. How did we know in Indigo that that couldn't be 5? Oh no. 2, 4, 5, that would be higher than 3. I don't know. I don't know how why I thought that couldn't be 5. Is it to do with this one? No, that could be higher. Is it to do with this one? No, that could be higher. In fact, that's a squeezed digit again. I think that might be able to be 5. Sorry, I just didn't... I mean, I think it is possible to miss these occasional digits. Oh dear, okay, but that is squeezed between these 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is at least 6. So if this was 8, for example, both of these would have to be 9. That's not going to work. So that is 5, 6, or 7. Whoa. And this is... Well, the thing is, if that's 5, that could still be 6. 5 in this column is... Oh, I see. You see that... Is there some... Oh, the thermo. The thermo. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, I know you've all been shouting at me. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry to Myxo, actually. Oh, goodness, what an absolute fool I am. Look, I just didn't think of this as a thermo. And look, I can't put 5 there, can I? That would have to be a 4.5. Oh, dear, Simon. So that's 5. Okay, is that probably does do something, because it gets 5 out of that square. So 5 is in this, so 5 comes out of this square. Yeah. Okay, so that is 5, which is probably not what I wanted, but it's still better than I was doing. Okay, I'm going to label this one now. That is 6, 7, 8, or 9. I don't know if there probably is a problem with this being 6, because that would have to be, by virtue of this thermo going east, that would have to be lower and couldn't be. So in fact, that gets me 6 in lime green, which means 6. Oh, yeah, that's huge. Where's 6 in red? 6 can't go there because that can't be 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 in indigo. So 6 goes here. So this isn't 6. That isn't 6. And I haven't... Oh, no, I haven't put 6 in yellow, but I think it's got at least 2. Oh, no, it can't go there, actually. So 6 in yellow is in one of 2 places. But, oh no, it's not. It can't go there. Sorry, my Sudoku skills have utterly left me now. Right, so that is 6. That is 5. That is not 6. So that... Oh, we already knew that, apparently. That is not 6. So there's sort of a 7, 8, 9 triple in row 8. That's not 5. Okay, well, probably I need to go back to 5s again now. He says, and then can't... Oh, that's not 5 now. Okay. So 5 in orange is now in the final column, which means 5 in purple is in either this square or this square. Now, which one of those is impossible? I don't know. I don't know. They both look possible. Oh dear. No. No. No, I don't think I know, do I? 5. I don't think that can be 5. Actually, that's wrong. I'm wrong about that. If that's 5, that would be 5. That would be 5. So we get 5s in this arrangement. That would be 5. Have I got 5s wherever I need them? Possibly. Okay, so that didn't work. That can't be 6, because this can't be lower than it, given my... Oh, is this a 4-5 pair? Oh, that's interesting. Okay, that's a 4-5 pair in orange. This digit is 6, 7, or 8. It must be lower than this digit. So 6 is quite restricted in orange. 6 is completely restricted in orange. 6 has to go there. So this is 7, 8, or 9. That's by Sudoku. That's placed 6 in blue. So, oh, that's not 6 anymore. So that one has to be higher than this one. Oh, that's not... Oh, but that one can't be 7 now, because that's got to be higher than that one. Good grief. So 7 is now in one of those 2 squares in orange. So 7 is in one of those 2 squares in yellow. So 7 is not there, which is also not 3, 4, or 5. So that is 8 or 9 only. And that's lower, which is therefore totally and utterly useless. Gosh, this is it is so ludicrously brilliant that you can construct something like this. Honestly, that 6 has not put pressure on those digits. How long am I tell you what, if I get this done in an hour and a half, I won't be too embarrassed, even though I had that ricket down here. Oh no, that doesn't work. 5 and 6 in green by Sudoku. I've got 5 and 6 in column 3 already. So there's a 5-6 pair on the green thermo. It's the only places they can go. So this is 7, 8, or 9. And that digit, remember, by our law of leftovers, is the same as this digit, which is not very interesting, but it is true. 5 and 6 are here. So where is... So this is... Okay, these are all 7, 8 and 9 as well. I've got loads of 7, 8s and 9s in the grid. That's a 7, 8... I've got a 7, 8, 9 triple in black. So that's a 6. So 6 is placed in indigo. I hadn't noticed. That's on a white dot. That's got to be higher. Oh, and consecutive. So that's got to be 5. It's got to be 5. So that's 5 and that's 4. This is not 5. This is not 5. 4 in... Yeah, is this right? Yeah, 4 in red. I can place it. It's there. Okay, good. So that's... Of course it's 7, 8 or 9. Everything's 7, 8 or 9. How do I use that to my advantage? This has to be... Oh, it always has to be higher. Everything is 7, 8, 9. Silly puzzle. That can't be 5. Okay, that 5 is knocking out the 5 in purple. So 5 seems to be placed in purple, which places my 5, places my 6. Now, what does that do? Where is 6 in row 3? It's only got one home and it's there, which places my 3. Places my 3 on the other side of the grid. Leaves me with 7s, 8s and 9s. Of course it does. What else would it do? Fill in. So everything I've got left is 7s, 8s and 9s, and somehow these disambiguate. And who knows how we work that out. Wow. Wow. Okay, that digit's bigger than that one, so that's not 7. That digit's not under pressure. That digit is bigger than that one. Yeah, there's going to be these tiny inequalities all over the place that somehow are going to resolve this. I might have to colour things as well. That digit is bigger than that one, so that's not... So that's... not 7 either. 7 is in one of those squares apparently. How did I get that? Is that... Oh, that's from there. 7 is in one of those squares. Okay, so that's not 7. So that's 8 or 9. So 7 is up here. That's big. Because the 7 in red and the 7 in green are in the same 2 rows. So that is not 7. I mean, when I say big, all it's doing is getting rid of one pencil mark here. 7 in lime green takes 7 out of that one. I think there's going to be some way of getting this down so that I get 8, 9 pairs, and then the 7s might be helpful. It's all very well saying that, but if... No, that can be 7, can't it? This collection of digits, is that telling me something? That one's got to be higher than that one. That one's got to be higher than that one. I don't think it is. I don't think it is. That one's got to be higher than that one. And I know that from the future, everyone is shouting at me saying, it's obvious. Well, it's only obvious if you know where to look. If you don't know where to look, trust me, it's not obvious. That is that's a thermo, isn't it? This one has totally got me every time. Now if that was 7, that would need to be lower than 7. So that one is 8 or 9. And now I've got a 7 in the grid. And please let that look at something. Oh, it does. It does look. I was just thinking that would be so unfair if it gave me nothing. That can't be 9. So 9 in black is in one of those 2 squares, so that can't be 9. And that's my A digit, so that can't be 9. Nearly. Now, Wow, okay, nearly, but close but no cigar would be a way of describing that. Yeah, there's loads of these inequality relationships, and keeping track of them is proving challenging for me. That's an inequality, but it's an irrelevant inequality. This one is real. That one's irrelevant. That one isn't one at all. Oh, can we do your law of leftovers? Those two digits are the same. So, is that helpful? Probably not. Yeah, maybe... Oh, is that true? I've got a 7-8 pair there. Don't trust that. How did I get that? How did I get that? Okay, I got rid of 9 because there's a 9 in black, so that's true. How did I know that that wasn't 9? How did we know that? Oh, I suppose, no, that's true, because that one has to be higher. Okay, I've got 9. I have got 9 in orange. That feels like a real breakthrough. Okay. So that gets me 9 in purple. That gets me 9 in blue. 9 in purple does a little bit more for me. It places 9 in green. How did you do this? It's just nonsense to think this is done. You could do this if you're a human being. It's frankly extraordinary. Right, okay, so what on earth is all that done? 9. I don't know. Please, 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 crack now. Yeah, this, no, be careful. I thought maybe they were in a relationship, and they're not. They're in the wrong relationships. That digit's the same as that digit. We could probably get somewhere, I suspect, by colouring, but I've already got so much colouring in the grid. I'm going to see if I can do it a different way, which probably is foolhardy. So the A digit has got to appear in the black region. It's got to be here. Now, let's get rid of that 7 corner mark. That's unnecessary now. 7 here is good. That's given me an 8 here. So that's 7, that's 9, that's 8, that's 9. Wow. And, okay, so this is now 7. That's 9. 7 and 9 now see that square. So that's 8, that's 7, that's 7, that's 8, that's 7, that's 8, that's 8, that's 7. And finally, that's 7, that's 8. And that might be the solution to one of the most... I mean, that is a masterpiece. That is a masterpiece. That is exactly the right word for it. I mean, it felt logical. Oh, thank goodness for that. 61 people have solved that in 5 days. I mean, hats off. It's the construction I'm in awe of. I mean, there are a lot of clever people in the world, loads and loads, who could solve this puzzle. That's obviously true. And then most of them will do it in a far more efficient way than I will. But how do you set that? Myxo, that is beyond the pale. Good grief, my friend, I do not know. I'd love if you do watch this video and you can leave a comment, please do, because that is fascinating. That is a fascinating idea. I mean, even getting the regions wasn't that. I mean, it's a beautiful setup, and the way it does unfold like a flower. You keep having, you keep opening new layers of it. It's brilliant. It is totally brilliant. I'm blown away by that. It's one of the best puzzles you will ever see in your life. Let me know in the comments how you got on. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.